Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us. My name is Tawana Rivers. This is the 10K Project, and we are here again this week with another amazing Black founder doing some wonderful things. And I'm so happy to introduce you to Dr. Ahmad Glover with WiGL. And Dr. Glover is going to tell us all about what's going on with WiGL. First of all, I want to welcome him back to the 10K Project. We're always so excited when he graces us with a new campaign round. We believe in what Dr. Glover is building or has built. And so we're so excited that he decided to share these opportunities with the everyday investor. I'm going to start by pulling up the campaign page. Dr. Glover, I see that you're now on Pick Me crowdfunding. You were previously on Start Engine. While I'm pulling up that page, talk to us a little bit about why the change.
So a couple of reasons. So Start Engine kind of focused on I've got an idea on the back of a napkin and I want to get my idea out to market, right? So how do I go from what do I want to do to I've got enough capital to make that into a reality? When you get into some of the other platforms, they look more at, okay, now I have a something and I want to grow that something into a something, right? So that was the primary reason. There's also like one thing costs more than the other thing, and you want to mind the pennies and those kind of things, and so you look at some of those kind of things, and then kind of in the background, one of the things that I really, really wanted to do, I shared this with investors maybe a year and a half, 2 years ago, was when we started WiGL, WiGL was all about wireless electrical grids of local area networks, right? So wireless power, being able to recharge stuff wireless. And then that grew into, well, what happens if I'm off grid, right? Well, I need to create the power to send the power out. So, well, the create the power thing kind of grew and became this own renewable energy thing, and it was chasing different opportunities that were a little bit different than what the wireless power was. So we wanted to split those two off. And so going to Pick Me gave us that opportunity to go, okay, I now have two things that are in product development stage, which is a little bit different than where we were on Start Engine. I
Okay.
want to birth both of those as products going to market.
Very good. Very, very good. Very exciting. All right, I'm going to share my screen. As you guys know, we're going to share the campaign link that I'm going to in the chat throughout the evening, so you don't have to worry about it. You'll see it. So here's the new campaign page. As you guys see, this campaign's on Pick Me crowdfunding. So we don't come to Pick Me often. We've been here maybe 3 or 4 times over the last few years. And so I just want to go over high-level deal terms so you can see how to navigate the page. You see, here's the Invest Now button. To date, they've raised $113,552. There in this round, there's 133 days left. I know when I see 130 days, there's a part of me that says that's great because there's time. Then there's that part of me that says don't get comfortable because it's time today, but tomorrow this campaign can close because the money could be infused, right? Very quickly. And so I always tell you guys, if you see something you're interested in, don't procrastinate because we have giggled about losing opportunities before, and it's not funny, right? When you lose opportunities and then you see the company doing amazing things. We have, this is a priced round. Y'all know I love a good priced round. So $1.85 a share. There are, what's that, 2,162,162 shares available. Right. And I'm looking for the minimum.
250. I don't know if it's on here, but I know that the min is 250
Okay.
minimum. And
So
I did this.
250 is the minimum.
So
And
another thing that we didn't discuss. So I wasn't able to change that on Start Engine, and so Start Engine we'd grown to a $500 minimum. I took a lot of feedback about, and this is probably the right audience to say this around. My own people were coming to me going, I want to invest, but I do not. I could do 500 if it was 250, but I can't do 500 at one time. And so that was another part of our changing platforms.
nice. Yeah, always making it more affordable is good for the everyday investor. So that is wonderful. And I like that thought process too, right? Because as people are, especially when we have 133 days left, I love the availability of increasing over time, right? And so you get it, for somebody who's interested in it today, but they may not have $1,000 to give today, but they know they want a certain amount of shares, and maybe that's going to come up to $1,000. You can do 250 over time for the next 2-3 weeks. You can re-up. And I love when we get to a campaign early enough in the campaign to do that, being mindful though that it may close and you may get the investments that you need. But very much like the other portals, there's a lot of great information on a campaign page. And so I definitely encourage you all to read everything. Due diligence starts with this campaign page. Dr. Glover and his team have put all of the things out here that they believe you need to see in order to determine if you want this in your portfolio. All right. So with that said, I am going to stop sharing, let you see all of this. This is all the information. This is a lot of good information, guys. So I'm just scrolling through so you can see all the things. I need you to come back to this page and read. All right, I'm going to stop sharing. And Dr. Glover, I'm going to turn it over to you to present to the 10K project.
All right. Well, thank you for having WiGL back, having me back, having WiGL back. So for folks who are not, I saw a comment pop up that said, "Oh, WiGL is back." So for folks who are not familiar with what WiGL is, prepared to be amazed, right? So all of us have these devices, right? These electronic leashes that we cannot leave home without. There's actually a medical term called dead battery anxiety or lost phone anxiety. Two different things. And so you could. I saw some research that said if a person left their wallet at home or their phone at home, they were like 8 to 10 times, not percent, times more likely to return home to get their phone than they were to go get their wallet. With your wallet, you're like, oh, I won't get pulled over, or I can use Apple Pay, I'm good. But with that phone, they're like, ooh, I gotta go back to the house, right? And so we're now at a point where they kind of control everything. I wear this watch. I wear my Apple Watch religion. I don't wear it to sleep yet. Some people tell me you can to track your sleep. I don't wear it to sleep yet, but I wear my watch, a lot. I've got a teenager and a 21-year-old daughter, and they live with those earbuds in their ears. I mean that is their thing. My son, gaming controller, might as well be an appendage of his hand. We are in that world. We're in that world where we're mobile and we're doing stuff. And so WiGL aims to create the ability to recharge that stuff. We all hear this Internet of Things, but Internet of Things ain't a thing if it don't work, if it won't turn on. And so WiGL aims to give power to those things. I don't want to tell my age, but I'm pretty old. In my lifetime, we went from a phone on the wall. So I was raised by my grandmother. Phone on the wall in the kitchen in my grandmother's house. To I bought her the first phone cord that could go anywhere in the house with the cord. The phone was still in the kitchen, and we then went to you could get a cordless phone, right? So you could put cordless phones all throughout the house. And now I'm at a point in my life where we don't have a landline. I mean, everybody has a cell phone. So if you think about, right, just in my lifetime, how we went from a phone at grandma's house in the kitchen, that was it, to phones in everybody's pocket. Some people have two phones, maybe three, if I've got a business, private business, right, multiple phones. But the state of how we provide power to stuff didn't change at all over that time. It was still you plugged it in or you put batteries in it. That's all you got, folks. And so WiGL is trying to revolutionize how we recharge stuff. So here it is. So we have a transformer network. So you basically take these transformers and you plug them in. So if you saw what was going on our page and you were kind of familiar with us before, you notice that we've talked about our patent, and then we would say patents with an S. We now list out, hey, because we didn't want our competitors to know what we were doing in the lab with secret sauce and stuff. So we now can kind of list those out now that they've been granted. And you can see we built a network of patents talking about our network of energy. So now you go into kind of this hotspot, just like Wi-Fi. You walk into a room, you log in, and you go, hey, I'm now able to recharge my devices wirelessly. I will tell you, I took so much feedback on folks on what was going to be fixed, what we might be able to recharge, how much power. That's breaking science. What about the fidget? So we said, you know what? Let's just go back down, keep our heads down, and when we pop back up again, we're going to have something you can touch, feel, play with, break, bend. Right? Enough of this. It won't work. Well, it's working. So now you tell me what's working, why it won't work while it's working. So our first product line that we're coming out with, and again, this is, you guys can yell at me if you don't like my thought process behind this, is there's a lot of science behind building a wireless network that you walk into this hotspot or you log in like Wi-Fi. Is it safe? What does it do? So we said, you know what? Let's train the end user by putting out something that I don't have to train you on. You don't have to become an engineer to learn how to work a Christmas tree. So our very first product that we're putting out is a Christmas tree. And I think I may have told you this, Tawana, when I came on the first time, but I said, I'm going to purposefully, now I had a call today with our engineers, they're like, are you sure? I'm very sure. I'm going to purposefully, on this transmitter, I'm sorry, on this receiver, there's a 4800 milliamp hour power bank. That power bank has a USB cord connected to it, a USB output purposefully. That we don't need it. It serves zero purpose on a Christmas tree. The only reason why it's there is because I want you to say, Dr. Glover, you told me, you promised me, I want when you get this Christmas tree, I want you to go take this from under the Christmas tree and plug your phone, your earbuds, your gaming controller into it, and it's going to recharge because it's dumb. It doesn't know or care what it's recharging. So either it's going to recharge the 400 LEDs on the tree, or it's going to recharge your cell phone or whatever you have plugged into. I've done that purposefully because this first product is not about the product. It's about introducing this new technology to the network. I say that because I remember my grandma, if you all are as old as I am, some of the first cell phones you got, the wireless ones, when you got them, sometimes you pick it up, you got static, right? And you have to go back in. And I remember my grandma, this thing doesn't work. I pick it up, and all I'm hearing is the TV noise. What TV noise? So, we want to train the audience that, hey, this is a capability that exists today, not futuristic. It exists now. We built it for DoD, and that's where we are. So that's really what you're investing in. I'm going to slap my own hand. I'm apologize up front. This is not our first round. So our first investment round was done in the 50-cent-ish range. It went over like gangbusters and it went very quickly. Our next investment round was a dollar and some change-ish. That one went extremely well. This round is at, sorry, I got the other screen popped up so I can give you the exact, it's at $1.85. So as you can see, right, as this technology moves, the price per share is moving with. I think Tawana said earlier, I used to say, I'm proud military, I'm retired Air Force, so we had a saying, don't be that guy. I used to tell people, don't be that guy or don't be that girl, because we have had a number of people stop me at the mall, yell at me at the airport because I can't believe that round closed. You said I had a 7 number of days left. Mm-hmm. When we hit a target, we hit a target. I mean, in the round, as she mentioned, stops. So don't be that person. So hopefully I pitched it. I think we're going to share some goodies about what I was talking about with the tree and the capabilities. But hopefully that explains what WiGL is and what WiGL's doing.
Yeah. So thank you so much for that. I just remember when you came the very first time and you talked about how the tech worked and you talked about all your DoD deals and just all of like everything you were doing and building up to. And I love how you're now, 3 rounds in, you've raised a lot of money, right? And most people would stop doing the investment crowdfunding round once they get to financial thresholds and goals that they have. But I know you have a commitment and you do this intentionally because you want the people to be able to take advantage of this. And I just want to take a moment and say thank you for that. We understand, we're appreciative. We know that this is strategic, right? Because you've been very, very successful on your capital raises. I want to go back to the tree because I love also how you've taken this huge technology and you've packed it into this thing that we all know, right? Even if you don't celebrate Christmas, everybody knows what a Christmas tree is, right? It is truly an everyday product when you think about that holiday season, something people are familiar with. Most people have more than one, right? And I love how you've almost sneaking the tech into the market, right? It's like you're like, I see you, I see what you're doing here. So I want to talk a little bit about the tree, and then I know you've got some stuff you want to show us, but I want to know, when can we get it? Like, so when's I know this is about WiGL, the wireless energy company, but now there's a product associated with it, right? And so when can we get the tree? Can we pre-order it? Somebody asked me the other day, or they made the statement in a conversation the other day and said, oh, I'd love to buy a truckload of those and sell them. And I was like, well, let me ask him if he's gonna do wholesale. Like, so let's talk about
So,
the tree a little more.
so a call I had earlier today was with our engineering team, and we were going over that very thing. So
Wow.
I don't want to name the stores, but we've got a set of stores already lined up, and we're now talking about orders and placements and locations and end caps and all of this stuff, right? So I will tell you, inside of 30 to 60 days, we'll be making the announcement about pre-orders. I am pushing this team. They know, I'm holding their phones hostage if I have to. We are going to have these available for this Christmas season, and so I will make an announcement. Follow our updates. We update you to death, boy. If you ask to get on our mailing list, we will spam you. We will fill your inbox up. But we will be making loud announcements as soon as those become available. Again, and you hit it spot on. The tree is simply, everybody knows Christmas, whether you celebrate Christmas or not. This is really about, I can tell you, if you're like me, I got a couple of them here on my desk. Uh, you can't leave a cord around my son. My daughter is older; she's got a little bit better. She
Mhm.
comes with her own cord. But my teenage son, you can't leave a cord around him. You will look, where's my cord? And I don't know. You know where? Go get my cord. Expect the same thing with your tree, because as soon as your young adults or teens find that they can recharge their stuff wirelessly using your Christmas
Uh-huh.
tree, they're going to use your Christmas tree to do it.
Yeah, just the idea of a wireless tree. So my living room is shaped really awkwardly, and there's a place always want to put my tree, but there's no outlet in the place where I want to put my tree ultimately. And so I'm so geeked because now I'm like, I can get this tree, I can put it where I've always wanted to sit it, and I don't have to worry about plugging it in anywhere. Um, so that's really cool for me. I'm excited about that selfishly. But I do want to talk about the wholesale opportunity, because I think my friend was kind of said it in jest, but then as we started talking about it, we were like, that actually might not be a bad idea. So I know the opportunity to have it in stores is there, but what if someone wants to do kind of a wholesale thing as an individual? I always think about side hustles for the community, right? Ways that we can make money and build wealth. And this is when I think about product lines and new things and being able to be the guy with the truck, right? I see Bernard and I see Eddie on here tonight, right? I can see them with their truck selling some wiggle trees.
Yeah, so I will tell you. So when you mentioned about our DoD contracts, so one of the things that terrified me coming right out of the gate was, holy crap, right? We have really solved something that has been a problem for a long time, and we were solving it for a DoD specific need. And then we said, well, wait a minute, right? We can commercialize this. So we've been so focused on getting the product, getting the product, getting the product, that now we are, hey, here's the product. What do you do next? And so all of those pieces are not just now beginning to line up. For anyone interested, you can email us at info@WiGL, WIGL INC, WiGL Inc., WIGLINC.com, info@WiGLinc.com, and ask for Marie. So Marie is the head of partnership, and you said, "Hey, I wanted to get into a wholesale thing." She's got a whole plan, and she can spell out how that will work and what we're looking for and all that stuff. As I mentioned, we're doing it now for stores, putting stuff in stores, so the timing is perfect. I had not thought about, uh, you know, our community being given the first ability to become wholesalers. But yeah, that fits within our model because again, so when I say the tree comes with two transmitters. You scan and you download an app. You've got your receiver, you've got your tree, right?
Mhm.
The next products that will come out, the next one in line is a phone case. The phone case will connect to your existing network because when you get that app, it doesn't care if it's a tree or what, so it comes with that network. So you could potentially become a wholesaler of not just trees, but all kinds of stuff that go in the network.
Mm. Very, very good. So that was going to be my next question is what's next? So phone case is next. Okay. Very good. What kind of data? So you can't talk technology these days without talking data collection, right? Where does WiGL fit in this space?
So the interesting thing about us is if you're talking Instagram, you're talking Tesla, you're talking uh, your Microsoft, they want to know where are you,
Mm.
what are you doing when you're there, so they can, right? That's where they make their money, right? They're selling, hey, you were here, and when you were here, you were looking at this thing, or
Mhm.
you were purchasing this thing, right? If you're Amazon, and they're selling that data, that's a multi-trillion-dollar network, dollar industry of selling that data, what you're doing. WiGL simply wants to know how much power are you consuming and
Mm.
how can I make your power consumption better? So either I can reduce your cost, I don't care about the folks, I can reduce your cost and I can make your life easier. The other data side, I'm not collecting your name, your date of birth, your social security number, your home address. Don't need any of that for wireless power. You do for Wi-Fi, but not for us, because we're not wrapped up in that industry. Part of the reason is I just saw something that about Cash App, all users were hacked. The VA, all users were hacked. We don't want to get into that space of having your data and having some 12-year-old kid hack in to your Wi-Fi, to your WiGL signal and steal your identity. That's not us.
So am I being overly enthusiastic when I say, and I'm looking around my space, just my immediate space, right in this room, and I'm looking at everything that receives a signal, right? Everything that has energy and receives a wireless signal in just this room I'm in. And I think I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 3 laptops, right? 9. I see like 10 things around me, right? Am I being overly enthusiastic that one day there could be a WiGL version of all of this stuff and all the cords are somewhere in the trash? Like, is that
You're
what we're envisioning?
you're so kind of you're only talking about 1%. Right. So when I mentioned, right, so if you look, we went from, hey, WiGL was awarded a patent and we got these other patents. And then every so often we'd announce one, right? So I think now we're up to 8 patents have been awarded. Utility patents. These are not design patents. These are the big boy patents, right? The utility patents. So WiGL envisions, how many light bulbs do you have in that room?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
And, okay, so everybody who's watching, right? Hopefully you're not just right. It's not just this conversation with us. Look in your own room, right?
Right, look in your own room, right? Right, right.
Right? How many light bulbs do you have in that room? How many outlets do you have in that room? How many televisions do you have in that room? How many tables, chairs, desks do you have in that room? Why aren't they serving a multi-purpose function? Why is that light bulb only sending you light? Why isn't it also sending you wireless power? Right? So we've got the patents for those. You're sitting in a chair. That chair does nothing for you but chair. Why isn't that chair sending you energy? You have a huge wall behind you, right? So
Mm-hmm.
there's no way I can miss any part of that room with that signal if I put transmitters into that wall. I just put copper lines into your drywall. That wall becomes an antenna, and now you can radiate from anywhere, right? I'm going to meet the safety requirements, right? That the FCC regulates how much energy I can send out. We're going to meet the safety requirements. In fact, right, if I were to take that drywall off of your wall, guess what I would find? where the electricians ran copper lines into your wall. It's already radiating.
Already
So
there.
already there. So that's what we're talking about when we're talking about WiGL. I'm talking about changing. Grandma has one phone in the kitchen and a 2-inch cord, and everybody's sitting around listening to the phone call, right? To now, I got a cord that goes around and through, and somebody kinks the wire, and none doesn't work anymore. I'm transforming how we got from there to a phone in your pocket. That's why I said you're really only looking at 1%. I'm talking about taking things that you didn't think could be a transmitter, making those transmitters. The first thing we had to do was get the patent, get the utility, the IP protection on it. Next, we're building those. And so we've already started with this first product. That Christmas tree, that Christmas tree today that's going to come out, generation 1, is going to receive energy. By the time we get into generation 2 and 3, that Christmas tree is going to be radiating out. You'll be recharging your stuff from the Christmas tree.
Wow. Okay. This is what he just explained was truly the evolution, right, of technology. Like, wow. Absolutely amazing. Miss Jackie has a question. She said, I enjoy the updates of WiGL as an investor. I invested last year. Does that mean that my shares are now diluted?
So that's an interesting question. So yes, short answer is yes, right? Whenever you get into investing, and so investing 101, if I do round 1, right? Everybody who comes in round 1 basically purchased, and their shares are worth, right, their percentage of ownership, their percentage of equity is worth whatever. Their share price is what it is, but the percentage of equity. When I do round 2, I'm now bringing in more people. So, right, if I was 100% before, now you may be down to 80% of ownership, right? Because more people came in. Now round 3, now you're down to 60-30. So when we talk dilution, we're talking about equity position. How much of the company do you own? I always think it's an interesting question because, as you mentioned, we strategically are doing public capital raises because of the Patterson brothers, right? Patterson brothers. Okay, everybody says, well, Ford invented the car. No, Ford invented the assembly line, right? Google Patterson brothers, right? No one knows who they were well before Ford. So what we said was, wait a minute, we need to make sure that folks know WiGL is WiGL. It's not when Apple introduces this technology, it's not Apple, it's WiGL. We got the utility patents, we got the IP protection, we've got lots of investors, and we're very loud about it. So we, $250 or $500 was minimum investment. Well, when you get into a dilution question, you're talking about what percentage of the company do I own? Well, if you invested $250, $1,000, $10,000, you probably own a small, really small percentage of the company. What you're really more concerned with is, what is the share price?
Right.
If I paid a nickel, is it still worth a nickel, or is it now worth $1 and a nickel? Right. That's when we talk dilution, we miss that part of the equation.
Right. Yeah, that's it. That's exactly it. It's about the appreciation of the share price. So as he stated, the first round was 50 something cents. Now it's $1.85. Those of us who got in on the first round, we're already on the upside, right? It's worth more today than it was when we got in. So we're winning. And based on, obviously there are no guarantees in investing. And as amazing as this sounds, we're not here to make any guarantees, all of that stuff, right? But that's how investing work. And when you think about all the things we know about the how a company grows, right? That growth model of a company, what we've heard here today is in line with a company that is looking to the future growth model and seeing how they can increase their valuation, which would, in theory, right, if things go according to the plan, increase the share price even more.
Yeah, so we did. So that was kind of investing 101, right? A little bit of 201 in there. So let's go to investing 301/701. So the question becomes, okay, so I paid $1 for the share, or I paid, $1.50 for the share. What, as an investor, right now I'm an investor. What I'm thinking is, when this company exits, whatever that exit means, did it get acquired or merged or to go public? When they exit, is that share price going to be worth more than the $1.50 that I paid for? Right. And I can kind of just look at, IPOs. Okay, well, this one went for that one. Okay, I think this thing is on a solid track. And if it exits, it's gonna exit at more than $1.50 that I paid for. That's really the back of the napkin math that you're doing. That's what you're looking for. And I'm not talking wiggle right now. I'm talking any
Right.
startup investment that you're looking at.
Yeah. What's the ultimate future? Some companies come here and they say, yeah, I want an IPO, and some others say, I want to keep it private because I like what that means, having a private organization. Some people say I'm building a company to sell. What's the exit plan, or what's the strategy and then exit plan?
So because we are regulated by the SEC, we've got a live uh, capital raise. I can't say what our exit plan is, but I always say any good company starts with exit in mind. And this is why I love. This is why I love coming to the 10K project, because I can tell you what I really think. So I used to watch Sanford and Son, and I loved this one episode on. I didn't know why I loved it until WiGL, where Grady's daddy's records, and he goes with Fred Sanford, and they go to get his records back, and all he keeps saying is, "I want my daddy's records. I want my daddy's records." Right?
Mm-hmm.
And Fred Sanford is trying to tell him to sell it, and he doesn't want to sell it. And at the end, I think they end up selling the records. So any company, I don't care if you selling hot dogs or you working, you got a lawn care business or you doing hair. You should have some mindset on how do I exit. Two exits. How do I exit? Me get out of here and let somebody else do it. Right. I don't want to be the 200-year-old guy sitting in the chair trying to tell people about new technology. I don't know what new technology is when I'm 200 years old. And how do I exit for my investors? How do we all get out of here and go, man, we did a good deal with that one. And so WiGL, before we had a name, we had a plan for exit. Again, legally, I can't share what that plan is, but just know that we had a plan. You'll see updates from us where we'll say, we hit a milestone. We're walking towards what our plan is.
Very good. Thank you for that. Earlier you said, you send a lot of notes and you're not a pest though. Your updates are meaningful. First of all, they're consistent. They're meaningful. I've invested in some companies. I ain't heard from them in 4 years, right? I'm just crossing my fingers. They still out there. But but you don't leave us guessing. You inform and educate your investors along the journey. And so I appreciate that. And it doesn't feel like clutter when I get an email from you. It really, really does. And I actually always smile. I get really excited. And I love part of being at this early stage, right? As an investor, it's like you get this attachment to the companies that you actually adore, right? And so you feel like you're a part of it when we get the updates, like we're going through this journey with you. So I'm very appreciative of that.
Well, thank you, thank you, thank you. I personally have learned so much along the way. I mean, we had folks who loved us, I mean, they were in love with WiGL and supporting us and all kind of things. And for whatever reason, uh, when they took a look at, hey, who the leadership team is, or me or whatever, it turned into, you're spamming us. Why am I getting these updates? So it's great to hear when people say, I really appreciate the updates, because we don't hire out. We've got an internal team, and they really, really good. So all the graphics that you see, all the updates that you see, we've got a dedicated team, and they're constantly writing those and pitching ideas and talking about what we should stay on top of, or things will happen in our industry and how do we share that, or things happen with us and how do we share that. So thank you, thank you, thank you for that.
Yeah, and Miss Jackie and Tracy are saying the same thing. So is Edward, that we appreciate. So if nobody else does, we do. um, what does WiGL need? Right? You guys have 3 raises. You raised a lot of money, but I knowing you like I know you, I know you're not just comfortable, right? And so what does WiGL need?
So name dominance. That is the thing I tell my team all the time. Um, you know, you can hear about WiGL, you can know about WiGL, you can be an investor in WiGL. If Apple comes out tomorrow and said, we've got this wireless Christmas tree, and they put $1 billion in advertisement, and Beyonce is dancing around the tree, you give it 6 months, you won't know or care about WiGL. So we need name dollars. We need people to know and have some attachment to. No, 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 no. This will not turn out like the Patterson brothers. Google that while I'm telling y'all Patterson brothers. This will not turn out like the Patterson brothers. So, so that is the main thing that we need named dollars. So that's why you hear from us so often. That's why we even when stuff goes bad, hey, we'll take because we want folks actively engaged and knowing the name and knowing what we're working on. That's the reason why we got with DOD, right? So because it's going to happen when the folks with deeper pockets than us show up and go, no, 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 look what we've invented. We need Big Brother DOD to go, no, 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 no. That was done under a DOD contract, right? No, 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 no. So that's really, really, really what we need is name dominance.
All right. So everybody watching this, you heard that, right? So what that means for us, right, as the investors, the potential investors, and just supporters of a Black founder means we need to be out there talking about what WiGL is doing, right? We need to be loud and proud about what they are doing, telling everyone we know, posting about it, right? For those of us who get those emails, every time there's something in it that we find interesting, we post it, right? It doesn't take but a second to do that. And I'll start doing that myself. Does not take but a second to do that because we've heard, for those of you who come week in and week out, I don't know, I think I'm running out of fingers for all the times we've heard a founder say, I was here first doing this thing, but that company over there got the $1 billion, right? Or the $22 million. And now I'm here trying to fight for you to know who I am, even though I built this product, right, 3 years before they did. Like we've heard that more times than I've got fingers on my hands. And so we don't want WiGL to be another company that has that narrative to share. So we heard it right there. You know, they name dominance, brand dominance. We want them to be very clear. And when we see this popping up in the market, we need to be saying, oh, WiGL did that first. That's nice. That's cute. But WiGL did it first, right? So we understand the assignment here. What other questions do you guys have for Dr. Glover? Miss Jackie says she'll definitely post more. Miss Jackie don't play. Miss Jackie is she is the most natural networker I know. She has made so many different connections. So if she says she's going to tell the world about you, she's going to do just that.
Can we show them? Can you do the tree video?
Yeah, hold on. Let's see.
Now I'm biased, everybody. I like the tree because I like tree, but I would like you all to just see it.
While I'm pulling it, Miss Jackie said, I believe that's my natural gift. I believe you're right. Lisa said, you mentioned DOD. Can you provide more information on your partnership with the DOD?
So we have contracts. So a lot of people it's interesting, right? You'll say something and people will hear it different. We'll say we have contracts. They'll go, oh, well, how's your grant going? We don't have a grant. We've got an actual, we're actually in our third follow-on contract with the Air Force. So the Air Force requested, they've got a specific device that they use. It's used at every airport, every military base, but the Air Force specifically. And they said, can you wirelessly recharge this? And then the other stuff that I talked about with our WiGL Energy products, can you power it or charge it off grid? Even if it's not wirelessly, can you do some renewable energy to recharge it? And so we've got a contract to develop that up for the Department of Defense. Interestingly enough, when we started, the device that they were using was this big, bulky kind of thing and looked goofy and it had a handle. They switched contracts to using cell phones. And so our ability to recharge cell phones was part of that, which worked out perfect for us, which was, okay, this works great because we want to get into that consumer space. So that's what our contract is. Our deliverable from a wireless power standpoint was to recharge that device that transfers into the phone case and to do something they call expeditionary lighting, right? So if you can imagine military folks deploy off, you probably, unless you've been in this world, you don't think about it. You deploy in the middle of nowhere. One of the first things you need is lights, water, sanitation, food, right? Well, it takes a while to run cable, to do lights, to set up generators, get diesel in them, right? All of this jazz. So if you can do that wirelessly, you may cut a day off of your deployment setup time. So one of the things that we're on contract to deliver was expeditionary lighting. I think that was task 4, task 5, which one of those tasks, we've completed that task and delivered that capability to the Air Force. And it's now back on the Air Force to go and, this is DoD, find more money to do a larger rollout of this new technology that they have. So hopefully I answered the DoD contract question.
Very good. I think you did. All right, let me share. I think I've got it up now. It was giving me some problems.
I see what somebody's asking. What's the update for the saltwater generator? So the saltwater power generator. So two updates. One, we changed the name. We changed it from saltwater generator. So we got feedback from DoD, and it was interesting. It was good, right? So we would go into places and we'd say, okay, here's the saltwater generator, and they would go, I thought you were making salt water. It's like, no, we're making salt. We're making power from salt water. So we changed the name to saltwater powered. If you click on the link above, click on that guy. So we went to saltwater power generator. The other thing is it is now part of WiGL Energy. So WiGL Energy as a company has saltwater power generator. It has some kinetic energy kind of capabilities. So anything dealing with renewable energy or anything dealing with the creation of energy. It is going to do its own capital raise. I'm in a bit of a fits and start because we have as Tawana mentioned, we've got a set of investors who are like, hey, wait a minute, right? Can we do an FFF round before you do this round? Because they really want to get involved with the saltwater generator. So that's the update on the saltwater generator. So that's the reason why you haven't seen any of the WiGL Energy stuffs going on yet, is because we're getting that updated and structured for that to work. Oh, by the way, if you are a WiGL Inc. Investor, you're a majority shareholder in WiGL Energy, so that you don't need to do anything. WiGL Energy is asset. Okay. You ready? It's not on this screen. So if you're ready, I heard the music, so that means we're ready to go. I want everybody to see the
video. We're not on the screen. You can't see my screen?
No, ma'am.
Share. There we go. Can you guys see that now?
Yes.
We're not seeing your
World's
screen.
first ever in-home, over-the-air, touchless, wireless power network. It's a game changer. WiGL is bringing to market over-the-air wireless power, starting with the first ever over-the-air wireless network-powered WiGL Holiday Tree. The tree is powered by two 5-watt WiGL transmitters that include 2 usable AC outlets. The transmitters constantly recharge the receiver and 4,800 milliamp hours power bank located on the tree. The power bank is able to power most devices, not just the holiday tree. Simply control the connection settings with the easy-to-use WiGL app. Embrace the magic of the WiGL holiday tree and make this holiday season the best one yet.
All righty. So what I wanted to call out in that video.
The world's first ever in-home, over-the-air, touchless, wireless power.
Don't play.
It's a game changer. WiGL is bringing to market over-the-air wireless power, starting with the first ever over-the-air wireless network-powered WiGL Holiday Tree. The tree is powered by 2 5.
There we go.
All right. Look, I'm glad it was you, not me, because if it was me, we would have to run that until. So what I wanted to call out in that, and again, so remember when I talked about the receiver and I said the engineers were like, dude, you're killing me. And I'm like, nope, put a USB input so that folks can run their core. So I did the same thing on the transmitter network. The transmitters can wirelessly power your tree, but the end user doesn't, right? I go back to grandma. When we first got that cord, so actually with multiple cords, the first cord we got was a long one, and she would get that cord all like, how did you tie knots in the cord? That cord would be so tangled up. And so I said, okay, so I don't want to create that problem. So the transmitters actually have AC outlets into them. You can still use, so you put this thing on your AC outlet to send wireless power, but you can still use the outlet. If you want to plug your vacuum cleaner or lamp or whatever you plug into it, you can still use that outlet as an outlet, right? So that was very, very important to me. I wanted to call that out. The other thing is, and you'd have to slow down the video to see, but I'm gonna tell y'all a little some hidden cookies I have in there. If you look at that app, when it goes to the little white screen and it's got the 4 little boxes, that first box says Christmas tree. The next box says other. You already know, because you heard me, that other is going to be that phone case. And then comes the other thing. So your app's going to already come out with the ability to grow other
to the other
products.
items. Wow. Very, very nice. That is intention right there. I love it. Absolutely love it. Tracy said you should let me do your voiceovers, Dr. Glover. We don't need the AI voice.
Okay, so again, I'll talk about my team. I love my team to death. They are considerably younger than me. And so they're always giving me, hey, we're going to use this one. They'll give me a couple samples. So I trust them. They, if Tracy, if you want to do the voiceovers, again, go to info@wiggleinc.com. Talk to them. Ask for Michelle. Michelle is she's our brand leader, and she'll go through all that stuff. But they usually have bunches of different things that they're doing for different types of ads or updates that they're putting out.
I love it. Very, very good. What other questions do we have for Dr. Glover? Looking to make sure I asked all of mine. I had a list going here. Let me go back to my list.
So let me ask this if they don't have a question. So maybe this will spur some questions. So I have been doing this capital raise thing since 2020. We started during COVID. We actually have a thing coming out here shortly where we can kind of show folks, if you think about starting in 2020 during COVID, raising capital in 2021 during COVID, not even being able to travel until like the end of 2021, starting up in 2022. So really from 2020, from about the spring, summer of 2022 until the summer of 2024, we have done a lot.
A lot, yes.
A lot to get this to market. So, but I've also bumped my head a lot, turned the wrong direction a lot. So I would ask you all, because you're sitting here, you're listening to me talk about my stuff. You probably have some business idea or some capital raise question that you want to ask. It doesn't have to be a wiggle thing. What do you want to ask of me while I'm here? Hey, how can I raise money for my what? What do you need help with?
I love that you're offering that. So definitely, guys, if you've got that question, please put it in the Q&A. But I've got a question because some of the founders that come to the 10K project to consider pitching always kind of ask me, what's the secret to success, right? And my answer to them really is that it varies, right? I don't know that there's one formula because every company is different, every industry is different, every founder is different, every founder's motivation is different, right? So I don't know that there's a secret sauce that I can give, but let me ask the pro, right? You've done this successfully for 3 rounds. What does a founder who is looking to raise money via investment crowdfunding, whether it's a priced round or a safe note or whatever the deal term is, that matters, but I still think it's a small kind of part of this bigger strategy. But what should the first 3 things be that they do and or know?
So I would say there's an old saying that if you want something done right, do it yourself. That has a wealth of wisdom in it. It's not necessarily that you need to get out and do things, but think about in your own life, whether it's a business thing, a person, whatever it is, how many times you've had something, maybe it wasn't going in the direction that you wanted, you went over and got involved in it and got it turned in the direction that you want. Yeah. What I have learned in my, 20 years of existence on the planet. What I've learned is where you place your energy is where you're going to get your results. And so if you want success, put your energy where you want to be successful, and you will have no choice but to be successful. There's a Sun Tzu saying that says, burn the boats, right? If when we send the troops over, burn the boat. There is no way home. The only way through is through. There is no going back. If you have that mindset and you place your energy on, I burn the boats, I'm going this way, you will go that way.
Okay. Okay. I love that. Yeah, because you burn the boat, ain't no going backwards, right? Yeah, I'm just thinking about that. What happens if you burn the boat? Well, you got to keep going, or you just ass out. Yeah, you
Yeah. That's burn right. There's no going
Wow.
back. We burn the boats.
Very, very good. Miss Patrice says, what was your 2023 revenue? Understanding your expenses are still probably way ahead of your revenue.
Yeah, so you can find our financials on the SEC page. I think our 2023 revenues were $750,000-$800,000.
Very good. Tracy says, this is not a funding question, as I should probably have this worked out in my mind, but I don't, Tracy, what's SHFTF? Oh, and the shit has hit the fan situation. Okay. I just love this community. I do. So let me read that again. In a shit has hit the fan situation, how do you see the average consumer being able to use the WiGL technology or products? Perhaps the products don't all exist yet, but what do you envision?
Okay, so I'm gonna ask you to give me a shit has hit the fan scenario. Because it may be a WiGL Energy versus a WiGL Inc. So do you have a scenario in mind?
I can think of a scenario. So let's say, we need to, it gets so volatile in this country that we need to, as a community, do something different. Either pack up, retreat, pack up, go somewhere together so we can protect each other. One of those situations.
So, so there's a lot in that, right? So let's talk about the leaving part. So I don't envision any of us taking a boat, right? So we're gonna probably use
We burnt it already.
we burnt the boat. We're gonna use some form of air transit.
Mm-hmm.
So if you can imagine yourself at that airport and you are in a what was this movie that came out? Leave This Earth, right? You're in a Leave This Earth situation where I don't necessarily trust going over there where that outlet is to recharge my stuff. I want the ability to recharge wireless. So if I'm at that airport, I envision, hopefully we can get there before we get into this sugar honey iced tea situation, that you have the ability to recharge your stuff wireless. Now, when you maybe are transitioning from where you are that has gone crazy to getting to somewhere safer, that's where WiGL Energy comes in. And so maybe I've got WiGL Energy product here. Maybe you got your own. This is a water bottle that you simply put salt water in, right? You put salt water in here. There's a little USB plug here, and this creates your own power. Or you've got one of our other WiGL Energy products where maybe you've got a light, same kind of thing. It uses this magnesium saltwater rod. You plug that guy, he goes in here. See, one's already in there. He goes in there. And this guy is what you use for energy, because what you do not want to do in a situation is not have power, because you won't have any communication. I was just talking to somebody the other day. You won't even know which way to go, because I mean, I don't know how many of you all have done a land compass course. You won't know north from south, from east, right? Each phone is probably going to tell you at least how to get to where you need to get to safety. And so in a it has gone crazy kind of scenario, I envision WiGL absolutely being your lifeline. And then when you get where you're going, right? So you made it to a Cancun, who's now taking in refugees, or you made it over to Ghana. Maybe you're in a somewhere in Europe. I don't know why you go there, but anyway, you're somewhere in Europe.
We make it to Nwasi in Marrakesh, Morocco.
Yeah,
And
you're in Marrakesh.
yeah,
Now,
we're treating that at that beautiful Black-owned resort there.
so now you have the ability there to recharge your devices wirelessly. WiGL is not a US only thing. We're global. And so yeah, you've got the ability to recharge your stuff safely, wirelessly. There's no the reason why I asked you to define for me what your scenario was, because I would have said COVID, right? Another or mpox, I guess, right? Scenario hits, and I don't want to touch people. I don't want them breathing on me. I don't know if it's direct eye contact that get it. Don't look at me. Look off to the side, right? So, I want the ability to recharge my devices without having to have those triggers that would cause me and my family some harm.
Very, very good. And Tracy then said, what if the grid goes down for 3 months? Use that as a scenario.
Grid goes down for 3 months, you're going to need WiGL energy. You're going to need the ability to create your own power.
So how do we get those products today?
So WiGL energy is it's in my fits and starts right now. WiGL energy is probably further along. We've got a company out of Taiwan. They've already developed the next generation. So this was generation 1 that we delivered to DOD for the troops. They've already developed the next generation of capabilities for me. Super cool. So I want to share a little bit of that. It's not this one, so don't. I'm just showing you this one. I'll have one with me. But the top on the original saltwater power generator was just a top. It has a little. I don't know if y'all can see that hole through there. This is just a vent off air and heat that was coming from this little thing. I can see a little WiGL logo. The next generation, this top is actually a power bank. So if you, for whatever reason, needed to get rid of this bottle, didn't want this bottle, the bottle, whatever, you can take the power bank with you and it recharges your device. I am hopeful that those are supposed to also be out in 2025. But again, I'm in a little bit of start, start. I'm waiting to hear from these investors that want to do this FFF round. If that doesn't move along a little bit quickly, you'll be seeing WiGL Energy pop up back up on the internet, interwebs here soon, and you will be able to get those products. We've got the same go-to-market strategy. Okay. So hopefully folks on here have heard of this company called Gel Blaster, heard of a product called Gel Blaster.
No, I haven't.
So Gel Blaster is a little, and I don't have any in my room. I'm not gonna kill it. Gel Blaster is it's like a kid's gun that shoots these little pellets, and you soak the pellets in water, and when the pellets hit, they dissolve so they don't make a mess, and it's called Gel Blaster. You can if you ask any kid, anybody 25 and below, they probably heard of Gel Blast. They're banning them in some places because they're freezing the pellets so that when they shoot each other, they hurt. They're doing drive-bys on school buses with these Gel Blasters.
Word. Okay.
But it's safe. It's safe. It doesn't hurt anybody. And well, the company that makes Gel Blaster is the company that is making the stuff for WiGL. So we already have a pipeline to market because of our relationship with Gwynn Partners. So Colin Gwynn and his team over there, super, super cool group out of Austin. They're in the Capital Factory. So we've got a pipeline. And so the same pipeline that we're using for WiGL stuff, for the transmitters and the tree and the app, is the same pipeline that we're going to use for the WiGL energy stuff.
Very good. Very, very good. That was a
and
great.
You all support Gel Blasters. You can Google them, Gel Blasters. Really, really good product and good company.
Very good. I will write that down, Gel Blasters. All right. This has been a wonderful session. I would not have expected anything less from you, sir. To the community, you know what we've got to do, right? If you're interested in getting in this round and you're not in any other rounds, do your due diligence. Also, tell everybody about what WiGL is doing. When we talk about that, right? We want, that name domination, right? For those who are already investors, consider increasing your investment. And again, our mission is the same as well. Tell everybody, share, 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 share. The campaign still has a little time. New campaign on Pick Me. We've been putting the link in the chat, so please grab that. You'll also have it in your newsletter that you get when we send out the replay, and it'll also be we'll be posting in the Facebook group also. We'll put this replay in there and you'll have the link in there. So no excuses on not to share it because we're putting this link everywhere for you to be able to grab. But our mission is the same tonight as it is every week, right? Is to consider investing in this amazing Black founder, but more than anything else, share the campaign so that more people like us can get this opportunity. If they're not in this space, if they're not, going to investment crowdfunding sites randomly to find things, if they don't know about us, the odds that they're going to see this campaign is unlikely, right? And so that's where we come in at. This is more than just about us seeing the presentation. Our mission here is much greater than that. It's not about just us seeing it. It's about us sharing it so that more people like us can see it. These campaigns that we highlight, we're not supposed to keep them secret. So that's not the point. We want more everyday people like us, people that look like us and people that don't, right? Everyday people who deserve an opportunity to have a better life. Those are the people that we want to see these early start campaigns. And I don't even know that we can keep saying that with the progress that Dr. Glover and his team made over these last, 4 years, almost 5 years. I mean, they have been working, which from an investor standpoint is an absolute testimony of the kind of company I want to be behind. So again, thank you for all the hard work. Thank you for your team. Please tell your team thank you for us. But more than anything, thank you for bringing it to the investment crowdfunding space, because I'm going to go out on a limb and say, I'm sure VCs knock down your door. And so I don't see them not coming to your door. And so the fact that you keep coming back to this public forum to raise capital, I think is absolutely wonderful, because it's a lot of work and we know it. I mean, you got a whole team marketing and strategizing. It's a lot of work while you're still building the empire. So thank you very much. That is not lost on this community, on how important it is and how special it is that you keep coming back doing it this way. Any final words you have, Dr. Glover?
So just two things. One is I went to see the new Aliens movie. And so while I'm sitting there watching it, there's a scene where the gun needs to recharge, and I'm thinking, you need wiggle, right? I'm thinking in the future, that's not going to happen, right? You're not going to run out of energy and run out of power because it's going to be recharged. The other thing is, and this is kind of a shout out to the 10K project. And I'm not sure if anybody has reached out on your behalf or not. But when the Obama administration came up with the Jobs Act, this is what they envisioned, right? They envision you're still going to have folks who meet at the golf course to discuss this new thing, getting in early, becoming an investor, they're in round 2, right? Getting money at the next private little event that they're going to do, or somebody hosting something at the judge's house for an investor. They envision make that available to Uncle Junie and them, right? Make that available so that their lives can change just like the judge's nephew and those kind of things. And so I don't know if anybody has informed them of the success that the 10K project has done in doing what they envisioned with the Jobs Act. So hats off to you all for doing this. This is amazing work for our community, who is almost always left out of these type of opportunities.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Thank you for that. We hope we're making an impact. We want to do more, but we hope that what we do is meaningful. We hope it keeps doors open. We hope it keeps founders motivated to continue, because that's why we're here. So thank you so very much, and congratulations to all of WiGL's success. I cannot wait for the update on when I'm ordering my tree. Y'all gonna be like, she got 3 trees. Yep, I do. I'm telling you right now, I'm getting 3 trees. So, so thank you so much, Dr. Glover. It was a pleasure talking to you this evening, to the community. Thank you guys for showing up one more again, right? Loving on us and loving on me personally. I absolutely adore this community, and I wish you all a wonderful evening and enjoy the rest of your week. Be kind to yourself and be kind to others. Have a wonderful evening. Good night.